Okay, guys, we're back for the second part, so yo, Sniper, let's not waste any time. Give me a question.
All right. Mr. Star Wars, apparently notorious, asks, in a death match between you and Zoop, which would be your weapon of choice? A heroin needle, oil, a charity DVD, a kitten, round the wheel, or Peter L90?
That's easy. I'd use a kitten. Just because Dave would go, oh, look at the kitten. And then I'd go, oh, look at the kitten. And then we wouldn't fight. Why would we have a death match? We love each other. That's ridiculous, Mr. Star Wars. And then I'd stab him in the throat with the kitten. Because it's secretly a kitten that's a knife.
All right. Next question. Kyle Harris sucks. That's the question.
That's not very nice.
No,
That's
it isn't.
not very nice at all.
Okay. The question is, what happened to Kingdom Hearts? Would you take over his series?
Now, for you guys who don't know Kingdom Hearts, although I've said this several times, Kingdom Hearts is a guy I actually know from GameFAQs, and he was creating a series on Mike Tyson's Punch-Out! Where he was taking all the combined knowledge that the GameFAQs message board had come up with for all these really fast times for the fighters. You can find all these strategies in my FAQ, which I updated last summer, I believe. So it's pretty up to date. Anyway, he was making these great videos. I think he got up to Don Flamenco 2 or Bald Bull 2, and then he just disappeared. Like, he has not made one of those videos in over a year. And honestly, I don't know what happened to him. I really hope he comes back, because those videos were not only funny, they were slick, they were educational, and really well put together. They were just beautiful, beautiful sources of information. Would I ever consider taking over his series? No. He has real skills. I talk stupid crap, and I can play pretty well, but what he's doing is a different thing entirely, and he's just so good at it. I could never hope to even come close to matching it. So no, I would not take that over. I will try to find out what happened to him and let you know, though.
All right. JMF Spike asks, when are you going to LP? It's not an LP, it's a talk-through. Mother 3.
I don't care. People can use whatever terminology they want.
I know. I just like to give them crap about it.
Mother 3? It's one that's on my radar, but I've got to play it, and I've got to find the time to play it. And therein lies the snag. I rarely have enough time to record stuff for YouTube, so... And then, I've still got to work on Minecraft, because I'm still allegedly doing that Minecraft Mondays, although those have been few and far between lately. But I will try to. I just don't know when it's going to happen.
Okay. And same guy is asking, would you ever consider doing any N64 games?
I definitely would. I just need to get a capturing device, because... if I can't run, I want to be like Brisulph and record stuff with it running at full speed, there's no chance I'm going to run an emulator for those things.
Okay. And I'm not sure if we already covered most or least fun talk-through.
Franken Warrior 3, like I said, like a lot of them are fun. There's very few that are least fun. I don't know. It's hard to say. Like, there's some games I do a lot off-screen that's a pain. Like, Mystery Quest was one I wanted to cover just because no one had done a decent thing in a Mystery Quest. But having to play through the game 4 times just to give you guys 20 seconds of final countdown jokes was a pain. It ate up a couple hours on a Friday night when I was home from work and just, dead from the week. But, even that one was fun. I enjoyed the end result. So, I don't know if there's anything that's least fun. They're all fun.
All right. Rank and File Guy asks, what do you think about today's young gamers generation and those from the 8-bit/16-bit game era? Like me.
I don't know what to say to that one, because on the one hand, the gamers from today have so many advantages that just weren't there for the elder generation of gamers. I mean, you can come home and you can play online, you can play with your friend, 1,000 miles away. But the downside of that being is you can also play against a 12-year-old British kid who sounds like he's got the worst case of Tourette's you've ever heard. I mean, there's a lot of downsides to playing online. For instance, you can lose your credit card information because Sony doesn't know how to set up any sort of online security. It's a scary world like that. And the other thing for me is that a lot of newer games are just, there's no interest to play them because it handholds you through the game. It's more about the story. It's almost like a semi-interactive movie where you just press the same button for 20 hours.
Plumbers don't wear ties?
That's, unfortunately, I think still belongs in the elder generation. That's just not... Yeah, let's not mention that. Now, we could put up a picture of that. I'd be fine with that. Well, depending on what picture. No, not the ass shot. Never mind. We're not going there. Anyway, the whole point is that the elder generation, games were harder, but they were also much shorter. That's why they were harder. Doesn't mean they're better than the newer games. I just prefer that style of play. I prefer a game to challenge me rather than have it spoon-feed me the whole way through. But you do get some challenging games nowadays that are decent, and that challenge is coming back, so go figure.
All right. Mr. Thunderwookie asks, what is your favorite old school/new school video game?
Old school, again, as I said, I usually do it by system. I can't really pick a favorite. I mean, I really love Donkey Kong Country 2. Huge Mike Tyson's Punch-Out fan. Hell, you give me something like Looping or Gorf on the older systems like Atari, Coleco Arcade, that type of thing. I love those games. New school? I don't know if I really have a favorite new school. It depends what you count as new school as well. But for series, I love the Battalion Wars series, for instance. If we're counting handheld games, I love the Advance Wars and Fire Emblem games. I don't know. I mean, what to say to that? I mean, Mario has been pretty consistent throughout for me.
Okay. So, we've got NHL fan 464646 asking favorite talk-through and why, but I think we've already covered that.
Yeah, Dragon Warrior 3, and just it's a game that I know so well, and it was so good to play it again, and I got to demo an RPG and a remake to you guys that was just done perfectly. You know, you don't see that from companies. They don't remake games properly most of the time. They usually fix something but ruin something else, but that game was just class and effort, and it all worked. It was awesome.
All right. Epic Rogue Z asks, Doom talk-through upcoming?
I really like Doom. I've played a lot of Doom back in the 90s. I mean, I was in high school when Doom was really big, and then Quake later on in high school. So, I mean, I played a lot of Doom and Quake death matches. I mean, although our personal favorite was Heretic, which some of you may not have heard of, but Heretic is basically Doom in a medieval setting. I mean, it even had a Phoenix rod that basically was a rocket launcher. So, anyway, again, off topic. But honestly, I don't see me doing a Doom talk-through. I don't know Doom well enough at this point that I could really do that. So, no, probably not, but you never know.
All right. Soren12 asks, what province do you live in? Is it province or Providence?
Well, you know, I am quite godly, but it is province. Because for you in the United States who don't know, Canada has provinces instead of states. And we also have territories too, but I don't want to confuse you guys with multiple naming stuff. Anyway, I live in Ontario, which is the most populous province in Canada. Also, you know, as a consequence, takes a lot of crap from the rest of the country. They don't like us. But no, I live in Ontario. Let's not get into regional politics of Canada, because, you know, I ramble enough as it is.
Oh, if I could swim, I could probably come visit you. King Cool 2099 asks, will you ever have guest commentary on a talk-through again?
Yeah, I've never said that I won't. It'll mostly come down to convenience and game, like a suitable game. The reason I did that one with Round the Wheel way back when was when YouTube was basically bending him over his bed and doing unspeakable things to his backside and his channels. So I wanted to give him a chance to be on there and just riff and have fun again, because honestly, he was a little depressed about the whole goings-on, because he lost a channel, and then he lost another channel, and then he lost a third channel, and it was just like, he was just a depressed little monkey for a month there, or a month or two. And thankfully now he's back, and you guys can find him at Round the Wheel, RTW, if you're not there already, and if you're not, shame on you. You should be.
All right. And he also asks, what are the 3 worst movies you've ever seen all the way through?
When I was in high school, my then girlfriend, Jeanette, we were going to the movies in my hometown, a small hometown I come from, and the movie theater, at least it used to be a lower part and a balcony. It used to be like a show house, an opera house back in the old days, but they'd actually just recently put in a second screen. And we're going to go to the movies, and I want to see the Godzilla remake. And you may be thinking, oh God, you guys went and saw the Godzilla remake. Oh no, that would have been okay. I'm okay with the Godzilla remake. It's not the greatest movie, but it's not by anywhere close to the worst I've ever seen. No, instead, she said, let's go see Hope Floats. That looks really good. And as the movie was going on, we kept looking at each other incredulously like, can this movie possibly get any worse? And then the movie would get worse. And you think, okay, this is it. It's got to rebound a little, right? Just a little bit, so we don't feel like we completely wasted our, well, nowadays it seems trivial, but it was only $4 to get in a movie back then. I know, old, right? Anyway, no, the movie kept getting worse and more depressing and awful, and yeah, it was terrible. It was just awful. And what else? 2 other movies. Actually, my last ex, she and I, the second day we were dating, I went to her place and we watched a movie that her friends had rented because she lived with, several people. We were both in university at the time. And we watched Jeepers Creepers. And that is one of the most boring, alternatively boring / not scary yet somehow kind of scary horror films. It was scary that it was that bad, maybe. If you've never seen Jeepers Creepers, then don't. But if you have seen it and you like it, I'm sorry, but that movie is just terrible. I don't know who wrote that, but it was a mess. It was almost like they meshed 3 different movies together and just out came that abortion, and it was just awful. And I can't think of a third one right now that qualifies on my worst movies. I'm normally pretty easygoing on movies, so those would be the 2 that just come to mind immediately as terrible, terrible movies I've seen all the way through.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll add your third movie for you, because every year at the end of April, there's something that happens at the University of Michigan called the Smithy Awards, which are basically like the Darwin Awards for movies. And my first year there, they had a raffle, and I won a copy of a movie called Pinata Survival Island. Yeah, you got to see it to actually believe. I don't
even want to hear the details. It sounds atrocious.
Yeah, it is atrocious in every way possible.
All right, so I'll throw that on there until I find an official third one. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, next one. Play It and Workin' 09 asks, first game you played?
That's tough. I can think of... Let me think. I can think of 3 possibilities. One is Mega Mania for the Atari 2600, which is a funky little space shooter, which someday may get a one-off. The second one is Pitfall for the Atari 2600. And the third one would be probably Subrock for the ColecoVision. Those are the 3 that strike to mind as being the earliest games I can recall seeing or playing.
Okay. Well, Famicom 1985 kind of simplifies it for you. What's your favorite Game Boy game?
All right, someone with a targeted question. Thank you. And I have no idea. I have a lot of different Game Boy games. If I did just pick longevity for ease of play and it goes with me, if I go on a trip, it often makes the trip. Tetris for the Game Boy. Love having Tetris. So good to have it around. That would probably be the answer. I think we'll go with Tetris. There's lots of ones I like, but that one is always in the running.
All right. Jewel64 Gaming asks, are there any games that you know are technically not very good, but you find yourself coming back for the nostalgia?
Come back for the nostalgia. Crappy games. Well, one I love to play, and I still play, is Bakasuka Wars. I mean, that game is technically not very good. Like, the technology in it, they just wasn't ready for what it was. But it's a good game, but I find it very nostalgic to come back and play that one. So I think I'll go with Bakasuka Wars.
And do you have any favorite games that are not very well known?
Well, go look through my talk-through list. You'll probably find some games that you've probably never even heard of that I find a lot of fun and play quite a bit.
All right. Curbzio asks, have you ever played Settlers 2?
Unfortunately, I've never played Settlers 2, and I can't give you an opinion on it. I was once given Settlers 4, but it never wanted to install on my computer, so I've never even got to play any of the Settlers games. Kind of disappointing.
Kuma Rage 17 asks, which of your subs is the coolest? It better be the right answer, Brisulph.
I've been giving this one a lot of thought, and honestly, I've been up late at night, and I've been thinking really, really, really hard about who it could be, and I've actually created mathematical equations, and I've worked in all the tirelessly going through everyone's channel, and the answer is